welcome back to a new video. So obviously I'm kind of in a bit of a different setup here for this video, just because I haven't got my big camera set up because there's a lot of stuff everywhere. So I thought this seems like it would be kind of okay. I did a little test. I know I'm a little bit far down, but I just couldn't get it right. And then I even wore my Baymax top, and I feel like you actually can't see it because I'm so far down. Anyway, this is going to be my what I watched for July. Now I know this is really late, so I do apologise about that. But hopefully I'll be getting back on track with things soon. But then also, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see I've been having some computer problems as well, and it just isn't working out. But anyway, I definitely want to share what I watched in July, because I watched about 20 movies. I counted before, I'm pretty sure I counted 20, but now I'm questioning myself. Yeah, but so it was definitely more than I watched in June and May, because I didn't watch very many in those months, so I watched a lot more in July. So let's jump straight into it. The first movie that I watched in the month was a rewatch, and I watched That Awkward Moment from 2014. This has Zac Efron, Imogen Poots, Miles Teller, and it's got some other people in who I really like as well, but I just can't quite remember their names. And I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed it the first time I watched it, and I was surprised. I was like, oh, I enjoyed that more than I thought I would. It's one of those easy, lazy Sunday movies, but I just really quite enjoy it. And I enjoyed it just as much this time. I gave it 4 stars. I definitely would watch it again. It's one of those movies I could watch quite a few times, and it's just easy, relaxing, not serious, just silly fun, but it's cute and it's fun. So I like this one. If you like romantic comedies and those type of easy, lazy Sunday movies, and you haven't seen That Awkward Moment, I think you would enjoy this one. But obviously it's not to everybody, but if you enjoyed those type of movies, then I would recommend this one. The next one that I watched was Game Night from 2018, and I was really quite excited about this because I really like Jason Bateman and I really like Rachel McAdams, and it's about these group of people who have this board game night, like monthly or something, and I really love board games as well, so I thought this just seems funny. Obviously it's a comedy, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm desperate to rewatch it again. I gave it 4.5 stars. It surprised me, it was funny, it was quirky, it had surprises in there. Like, it was a comedy film, but it had action and kind of, I don't know, it was just funny and I liked it. And the end had some twists and turns, which, not mega twists and turns, I'll say, but you know, it had a few surprises in there. I just really found myself enjoying it a lot, so I definitely can't wait to rewatch this one. I think it would be a good one to watch with a group of friends. It's kind of one of those movies, so I really enjoyed that. I definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it. The next one was again a rewatch. I started to do a lot more rewatches in July and August, but I rewatched Wonder from 2017. This is one that I picked up Monday Movie Hunting this year. I've been trying to rewatch them a lot more this year, because last year I rewatched 2 of the Monday Movie Hunts, and this year I think I've rewatched about 4 or 5, so you know, it's getting better. I really loved Wonder when I first watched it. I enjoyed it again the second time a lot as well, but I don't think I enjoyed it quite as much. I gave it 4.5 stars. First time I gave it 5 stars, so I don't know, I think I still love it. It's a fantastic film. It's a great family film, it has great morals, and it's really great. But yeah, so I almost enjoyed it almost as much, but it didn't have quite the same impact on me the second time. But I suppose that's always going to be the case, because it's one of those films that kind of has a big message and it kind of leaves an impact, but if you've already seen it, I guess it wouldn't be as impactful the second time. But yeah, still loved it, still recommend it. The next one was again a rewatch, and I rewatched The Boss from 2016. This is one that I'd picked up Monday Movie Hunting last year or the year before. It's a Melissa McCarthy film, and I didn't necessarily love this the first time that I saw it, but I wanted to rewatch it because 1, it is a comedy and I do find those rewatchable. 2, the young girl in the film is also in The Glass Castle, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favourite films, and I thought she was absolutely fantastic in The Glass Castle, so I definitely wanted to revisit this and see her in this film. And then thirdly, Kristen Bell is in this film, and I'm trying to kind of rewatch all of her films after having watched Veronica Mars, which I love so much. So I wanted to revisit this one, and I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars. I would watch it again. I thought Kristen Bell was great, I thought the kid was great. Melissa McCarthy is not my favourite of hers. She's not my favourite in this, but she's still funny and it's quirky. It's not laugh out loud funny, but it's fun enough, and I like the concept, and it's just kind of it's very over the top, I will say. It's just kind of one of those over the top movies that you can just sit and watch. And again, I would watch it again. I really liked Kristen Bell in this, so yeah. The next one was, again, a rewatch. And I rewatched The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas from 2008. This is one of my all-time favourite films. I gave it 5 stars, of course, because I love it. It's probably my favourite World War II film. I just think it has... This is a film that every time you watch it, it leaves a massive impact. Like, every time I watch this one, the kind of effect and the hard-hitting ending doesn't decrease when I watch it again and again. I've probably seen it 6 times. It's not really one of those movies you think you could rewatch. But I think it's just such a great, well done movie, such a fantastic story. So yeah, The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas. The next one that I watched was I Kill Giants from 2017. This was different than what I expected it to be. I'm still on the fence about what I think about this one. I gave it 4 stars, and in hindsight maybe I would give it 3.5. But I thought it had an interesting concept and an interesting message, and I thought the main character was very interesting. I did really like her, and I also liked her friend, and you know, it was a good film, and it kind of reminded me of A Monster Calls, which again I was a bit on the fence about, so I'm not sure. It kind of feels like I lump it in with that. It is very similar in theme, and it reminds me a lot of that. So if you liked A Monster Calls, I would say you would like this, possibly. Or if you really liked Monster Calls, maybe you wouldn't like this. I'm not sure. I'd be interested to know other people's thoughts on this one, because I thought it was a good film and I enjoyed it and I liked the characters. So, you know, I gave it 4 stars, but in hindsight I'm not sure quite what I thought of it. I don't know, maybe that's weird. Next one that I watched was a stand-up comedy DVD, and I watched it was a rewatch, this one was, and it was Sarah Millican at Chatterbox Live. I'd seen this before, years ago, when I picked up the DVD. I like Sarah Millican, I enjoyed it, and then somebody that I work with went to see Sarah Millican, so it reminded me, oh yeah, I've got some of those DVDs, maybe I'll give one a watch. And Josh hadn't seen anything from Sarah Millican before. We both really enjoyed it and had a laugh. It was really fun, and it's kind of you know, a fun way to spend an evening that's not necessarily watching a movie but watching a stand-up, and you know, so it's funny. I gave it 4 stars, but yeah, obviously not a movie, but I really enjoyed it. The next film that I watched was Lady Bird from 2017. I initially gave this 4 stars and then I upped it to 4.5 because I can't stop thinking about it, and I definitely need to watch it again. I love Saoirse Ronan. I think she's fantastic in this. I loved her character. I love the tone of this movie. I don't know, it's just not a massive amount necessarily happens. It's more of a character development and between the families and friends and stuff, but it just has this great, I don't know, if you've seen it you know what I mean. If not, I feel like you need to watch it. I can't really explain it. I just really thought it was great, and again, since watching it, I watched it on July 12th, and now it's like nearly the end of August. But yeah, I keep thinking about it. I keep thinking I need to rewatch that one. So it's really stuck with me and stuck in my mind, so I think that's always a sign of a great film. So that's why I did actually up the rating, because I thought, yeah, I actually thought that was really great. And then I've seen the trailer advertised at the beginning of other films since, and I've like watched the trailer, and it's just good. I really enjoyed it. The next one that I watched was a new watch, but kind of similar to the one before. I watched Sarah Millican Homebird Live from 2014. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I didn't quite enjoy it as much as the previous one that I watched, but I still enjoyed it. But yeah, I bought this one after watching the other one because I was like, yeah, I want to watch another one. I'm going to pick one up, and that was I don't think it was quite the newest one, but it was one of the newer ones I hadn't seen. But yeah, so I enjoyed it, but again, not quite as much as the Chatterbox one. Next, I watched Finding Your Feet from 2017. I gave this 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it, but I think I thought I was going to enjoy it a little bit more. But again, this is actually one that, in looking back, I found myself kind of thinking back on it and enjoying certain parts of it and remembering parts. It's not necessarily a forgettable film. I feel like I've quite, you know, again, it was July 14th, it's been over a month, and I'm still remembering parts, and I've been saying to my mum, oh, you know, you should definitely watch it, so I would recommend it. It went in different ways than what I thought, but I would definitely watch it again. And I even liked the guy that I don't usually like. He was in Denial, and I really didn't like him in that, and he's also from Harry Potter, which he was fine in that. but he was also in something else. I think he's Mr. Turner as well in that film. Can't remember his name at all. Timothy Spall? Timothy Spall, I think that's his name. I think he was in this movie, and I usually don't like him, and I think he was fine in this, so that was good too. But yeah, so the next one that I watched was another rewatch. I know, so many rewatches this month. I've been really enjoying rewatching films. I feel like I've missed just watching whatever I wanted to watch and rewatching and stuff. But I rewatched Central Intelligence from 2016. This was another one that I picked up Monday Movie Hunting either last year or the year before. I think it was the year before, and again I hadn't been rewatching them last year or the year before, so I'm trying to go back and just rewatch them and enjoy them again. This one's got Dwayne Johnson in and Kevin Hart, and I do enjoy this one. It is funny. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think I gave it probably the same the first time I watched it, but I always feel like I expected a little bit more from it, and I don't know why. I thought because I really like the cast. Because Kevin Hart's in Ride Along, and I really enjoy Ride Along. I think it's really funny, and I'm a big fan of Dwayne Johnson, but it just doesn't quite get over that point. But again, I would still watch it again in the future. I still enjoy it. So yeah, it's a different one as well. I think Dwayne Johnson plays a very different character, and it's kind of a different dynamic that they have than I've seen him in other films, so I find that funny and fun. The next one that I watched was The Purge from 2013. So my thought was I'd watch The Purge, and then I'd watch The Purge Anarchy, and then I'd watch The Election Year, and then maybe I'd pick up The Purge, the first Purge, or whatever it's called. You know, all in preparation kind of around Halloween time that's coming out, so I thought that'd be fun. But I really didn't much enjoy this first Purge. I gave it 2.5 stars. I just thought it was a little bit boring and not that exciting. I don't know. I've heard that the second one is better, but I don't know about the third one, so let me know down in the comments below whether the first Purge is just the worst of the bunch, and whether or not you'd recommend the others, and which ones you would actually recommend. Because I do own the second one, so I probably will actually watch that one, but I don't own Election Year or obviously the first Purge, because it's not out yet. But yeah, so if you would recommend those, please let me know in the comments below, because I am interested in the films, but I just didn't really enjoy this first one. The next film that I watched was Darkest Hour from 2017, and I really thought this was a great film. It was different than what I expected it to be. Obviously it's based around Churchill and kind of when he became Prime Minister, and I thought it was going to go through more of his time as Prime Minister, but it didn't. It was kind of really focused on the earlier days, which I found actually really interesting. I quite like it sometimes when we kind of narrow down and focus on a certain point. I found after watching this I really wanted to watch more World War II films, which I did watch a couple after this one. I really got in the mood to watch more World War II and kind of become interested in those movies again. But yeah, so I gave this one 4 stars, and I thought it was a good film. And I probably would revisit it, but not for quite a long time. It's not one of those that is very rewatchable. It's more dialogue heavy and things like that. The next one that I watched was The Imitation Game from 2014. Again, this is a World War II movie, and it was absolutely fantastic. I'd seen it before, so this was a rewatch. I gave it 5 stars. It's one of my favourites. I feel like Boy in the Striped Pyjamas is my favourite World War II movie, and then The Imitation Game would be my second favourite. I think it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. What's his name? Oh my gosh, he's Sherlock. Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch is brilliant. Keira Knightley is brilliant, and I would happily watch this film again now. So it's been like a month that I watched it. I would watch it again. I know I'll continue to watch this one. I think it's a fantastic film, so I definitely recommend watching it if you haven't seen it. Even if you don't like World War II movies, because it's not, I feel like you'd enjoy it anyway. I don't think, you know, you need to like those type of movies to enjoy this one. I think it's an interesting, true story film that everybody could enjoy. The next one that I watched was another rewatch, and it was Thelma and Louise from 1991. I gave this 4.5 stars. I'd seen it before and I really enjoyed it the first time I saw it. I love Susan Sarandon and, what's her name? I can't remember her name. You guys will know. You guys exactly know who I mean. Anyway, Thelma and Louise is obviously a classic. Everybody knows of Thelma and Louise, or everyone's seen it. Josh hadn't seen it, so I really wanted him to, you know, to see it. He actually knew the end, because I feel like the end is kind of iconic and everybody knows the end, and I think they show the end in another movie and they talk about it here and there. So I think, you know, obviously a lot of people do know the end. So he did know the end, but I don't think it took away from his experience of the film, and I just really enjoyed rewatching it. I thought it was really interesting to revisit, and again I definitely rewatch it in the future. It was my first time watching it on Blu-ray, which I thought was really good actually. I really enjoyed watching kind of an upgraded version of it. But yeah, so I really enjoyed Thelma and Louise. The next one was another rewatch, and I rewatched Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle from 2017. And obviously I'd only watched this a couple of months ago because I only picked it up in May, was it? And I enjoyed it, but I didn't like it that much. And then it was one of those that I kept thinking about, and I thought, you know what, I want to go back and rewatch this. And I did, and I had a really fun time with it. Now that I knew what to expect from it, I had such a fun time watching it. I still only gave it 3.5 stars, but the actual viewing experience was just a lot of fun. I love Jack Black in this, his character is fantastic, and obviously Dwayne Johnson's in this, and Kevin Hart's in this one too. I forgot because they were in the other one. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a fun film, and again, I would watch this one again. I feel like it's just one of those films that I'm just going to end up watching quite a lot, even though it's not fantastic, but I just have such a fun time watching it. And again, it's one of those films, you know, if you had people around, I'd definitely show it to other people just kind of for a fun film. But yeah, so I enjoyed it. The next one that I watched was TONYA, again from 2017, and I don't think that I enjoyed this quite as much as everybody else has done. I thought that it was well done. I thought it was an interesting biopic, or biopic, whatever we call them. But I didn't know much about Tonya Harding beforehand, and I feel like everyone says, you know, we only know this kind of one, we remember her of this one incident, but I didn't know a massive amount about it, so maybe, I don't know, I don't actually think that maybe wouldn't have made much difference, because I go into these other things often and not know much. I thought that Margot Robbie was very good. It's very different for her, and I did like the film, and I thought it was well done. I thought it was interesting, and it was about something different than I hadn't watched a film really before about, you know, Olympic ice skating. I remember when Eddie the Eagle came out, I thought that was interesting because it was about the, you know, Winter Olympic sports, which I hadn't known much of. So I found this interesting in that way, but I only gave it 3.5 stars because I just never really felt too connected, or I don't know, too invested. I don't know what it was, but I feel like I maybe had too high expectations for it, because I know a lot of people really enjoy and loved this film. So I feel like my expectations were maybe a little bit too high, and I expected something a little bit different. But I did also love seeing the girl from Gifted was in this, and she was fantastic as well. She played the young Tonya Harding, so I thought that was really great. The next one that I watched was Peter Rabbit from 2018. Now, quite on the opposite tail, I didn't have very high expectations for this at all. I had quite low expectations. I thought it was just going to be a bit too kind of childish and things like that, but I really like, I never know how to say her name. She's also in Annie and something else. I don't remember her name. She's in Bad Neighbours, you know who I mean. And then also, Donald Gleason's in this one, I'm pretty sure. He's in About Time and Star Wars and stuff. So I thought, yeah, you know, I want to see it. And I really enjoyed this. It was cute and it was funny, and I laughed out loud a couple of times. And I definitely want to rewatch it again. I gave it 4 stars. I know that's a bit generous and a bit much, but I just really liked it. It was relaxing and it was cute, and it wasn't what I expected it to be. I thought they were going to end up going on this big adventure and this whole thing, and it wasn't that. It was just nice and kept it kind of simple, but it worked. So that's what I really liked about this one. I really did enjoy it. And I thought it was lots of fun, so I definitely would recommend Peter Rabbit if you obviously enjoy those type of films. I thought it was cute and fun, so I'd watch that one again. The next one, the second to last one that I watched, was Giovanni's Island from 2014, and this was a fantastic anime film. Again, it was World War II as well. I think if you like Grave of the Fireflies, you would like this. I almost think, I don't know, I might have preferred this to Grave of the Fireflies. But maybe, I mean, don't get me wrong, Giovanni's Island is quite depressing and it gets very dark, but I don't know if Grave of the Fireflies is a bit more dark and depressing, because I did find that one to be a harder watch, I think. So I think I would rewatch Giovanni's Island, and I think it was a really good, well done film and a really great story. So I definitely would recommend it. Grave of the Fireflies, I always thought I wouldn't quite rewatch, but now I feel like I do want to rewatch it after watching this. Obviously, Grave of the Fireflies is the Studio Ghibli film, so if you enjoyed that, I would recommend watching this one. This isn't Studio Ghibli, but I'm not sure what studio it is from. I think it's the one with the A, anime, all anime. I don't know, I can't see one around. Oh, is Your Name here? No, Your Name has the same little A on the side. It's like an A in a red bubble. I don't know, you guys might know. But yeah, really fantastic film, I would recommend that one. And the final film that I watched was again a rewatch that was one that came out last year, and that is Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales / Salazar's Revenge. That's what mine's called, I'm pretty sure. This was originally released in theatres in 2017, and I watched it last year when it came out on Blu-ray. I quite enjoy this one. I like the two new main characters. We've got the boy from The Giver and we've got Effie from Skins, or the girl from The Maid Runner if you didn't watch Skins. And I really like those two, so I kind of enjoy it. So I gave it 4 stars. It's not really on the same level, obviously, as the first two, but I think it's probably better than the 4th one. Johnny Depp's kind of a little bit different in it, but I don't know, I just quite enjoyed it. It's quite fun. I didn't really take it too seriously, and I really like the new characters in it. So yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I'm glad that I rewatched it. But yes, that is it for this video. Thumbs up if you enjoyed these What I Watched videos. Please let me know down in the comments below what films you would recommend, or what you've been watching, or maybe your favourite movie of recently. Oh, I haven't told you my favourite. So my favourite rewatch would have been The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas, really closely followed by The Imitation Game. My favourite new watch might be, it's either Game Night, I'm just going to list a bunch here, aren't I? It's either going to be Game Night, Lady Bird, Peter Rabbit, or Giovanni's Island. I don't quite know, but I really enjoyed all of those. But yeah, thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you then. Goodbye!